Excellent. Doing very good. Good. Welcome to the Toolbox. Guess what I was getting ready to say, y'all? Wednesdays at 12 a.m. I do the thinking room. I was getting ready to say, welcome to the thinking room. Because I'm so used to saying the thinking room. Amen. But welcome to the Toolbox, the marital Toolbox, where we just talk about love, relationships, the highs, the lows, the ups and the downs, the mixes, and all those different things that can either complement a marital relationship or dissolve a marital relationship. So we're here on this evening. You may hear a little recap about some things. Yes. We're just going to recap and, go over some things that we have already, possibly spoken about, or maybe something new, a new topic may come up. But I'm just so excited this evening because I get to do the Toolbox with my husband. My husband, Apostle Kevin Lucas, of 25 years of marriage. Certainly we've seen our highs, and certainly we have experienced our lows. We've had happy days, we've had sad days, we've had all types of days that we as a marital couple had to battle through to build the relationship. And one thing about marriage is, that day, that's the marriage. But after the marriage comes the relationship. Yes. And you come to find out after you have gotten married and you have walked in this marriage for some time, the relationship you thought that you might have had before you've gotten married, babe, you find out, oh my God, okay, I thought I knew this, Oh man, I thought you told me everything. Oh my God, it is a lot of surprises that happen. Is a lot of different things that come out of the woodwork that you probably never even thought of or never expected, because before you're married, you're just, oh my God, you just know him. You know your husband, you know your wife, until, oh my God, I didn't know you do that. I didn't know you chew like that. I didn't know you leave the toilet seat up. I didn't know you. So you find out so many things. I didn't know you disagree with that. But we are happy to say, 25 years of marriage has really made us, our relationship. And so this evening we're going to recap a lot of different things. I get to recap it with my husband. Normally you guys would see me recap it with my girls, but they are not here on this evening. So I'm going to recap. We're going to recap a lot of things with each other and just review and talk about some things with each other. Babe, what you want to?
Let's start with, I think we're going to start with one of the things we first you girls opened up with before the guys came on, I guess, around the second or the third week, and that's the big topic, sex.
Wow, sex.
And it just simply how to keep it spicy after so many years, and we've talked about it, and now we just want to review it. Some of the examples that the girls had gave was good music, lingerie, and foreplay.
Yes.
And those are just some of the topics that they had hit on. But I wanted to take it a little bit further, especially when they talk about how to keep it spicy. It's the little things that I always found out about you that was spicy for me. It doesn't take a whole bunch to try to keep your imagination about the one that you love.
Right.
Okay? Because you now, taking into consideration you're going to have children.
Right. Oh, and, no children,
whether you're renting or owning or whatever, life's going to hit you at the certain point that we all know we've already went through.
Yes.
But after that's hit and you get caught up in, let's say, January to December, and you lose each other somewhere around March or April.
Right.
After the weather had already been cold and now it's changing and the weather's getting a little warmer. Now you're taking off more clothes outside and inside the house because you get the air and the things
Yes.
on. It's a different effect. And I always find out when the time that we're in right now, we're getting ready to go into spring, that when we start to get a little warmer, we see each other a little bit different.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yes, we do.
And I'm not even going to
do.
start talking about what we see on the outside. I'm talking about on the inside.
Yes, we do.
The love affair that you've had. We've been married 25 years. 25. And I still love the silhouette that my wife has when she walks through the room on a sunny day. And there's a hint of a shadow, and she's moving around. Now I know some people might say, "Really?" I say, "Yes, really," because it's the season's changing, and you got more sun, and you're noticing each other a little bit more. And then, may I say before you even say anything?
Yes.
We're empty nested.
Yes,
so
we
that's
are.
even more the good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's even wonderful. We're empty nesters. And, and even as we're talking about the empty nesters, when it comes to that, being an empty nester, it can be awkward sometimes, especially when it comes to togetherness and different things, because we were so used to the children. We were so used to the children feeling that space, or, our grandbaby feeling that space. So we never really had that intimate time that we would like to have, that intimate time. So after, we became started becoming empty nesters, it became a little awkward, but, prayerfully we made it through and everything like that. So, as you have heard me say it before, as far as that keeping it sexy and keeping it spicy. We've said before with the girls, and I think the guys was on here at one time, it's about being open.
Yes.
Being open, but not being open.
That's right.
But being open to please each other. Intimacy is about pleasing each other, keeping it spicy. That even goes with keeping it spicy. It's about pleasing each other. It's not a selfish mode. It's not something selfish, but it's something that you guys, be attentive to each other when you're keeping it spicy in that intimate moment. So we like that. So we really enjoyed that topic. We really, 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 really enjoyed that topic. We talked about music, different musics to, to set the mood. We talked about ambiance. My husband, we even mentioned lingerie, and, there's all types of nice, decent lingerie that as a woman that you can put on, that possibly will not make you feel freaky in kind of way or trying to make you feel some kind of way. There are all types of decent, lingerie, that you can put on, because one thing we do know, men are visual at the end of the day.
Yes.
They are visual at the end of the day. So listen, they need to see something. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to see head bandanas and fleece gowns at 90 degrees weather in the house. They're looking for that little skimpy nightgown. It's hot. It makes sense to have on a skimpy nightgown when you go to bed, not a fleece and not a onesie.
Yeah.
So they're more visual than we are. They have to, they kind of have to, see, we have to give them something to look at. You know what I'm saying? To get them, which it don't take a lot for a man because they are visual.
Yeah.
To give them something to look at. So, from lingerie we said foreplay, and foreplay is those moments. It don't have to be what you think in your mind as being nasty as foreplay. We talked about foreplay as being talking on the phone before he came in. Listen, you don't set the mood and the atmosphere when your husband or your wife come home. You're setting the mood and the atmosphere throughout that day, talking on the phone, saying little things to each other when he or she comes home, touching each other, walking past each other, giggling, laughing. Those are all part of foreplay. I know we like to think of foreplay just something physical and touchable. No, but sometimes foreplay is just smiling and talking. I think my sister Victoria, she said it, just laughing and building up to it. Build up to the intimacy.
Right.
Don't just dive right into it. So those were some of the things that we also talked about also too. Another thing that we also talked about was excessive baggage. Oh my God. What we bring into the marriage can, if we're not careful, can be so detrimental to the relationship. Not so much to the marriage, not so much to the husband and wife, but to the man and the woman, the friends. It can be so detrimental to the friendship. It can be damaging. It can. To the friendship. So, we have to be careful. So that's why it's so important. I think we talked about also too, if you need that counseling, get that counseling. Don't be afraid. Counseling is not a taboo.
That's right.
Talk before marriage.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Talk to each other. It's things that you really need to know about each other. You don't want to know some stuff after you get married.
No.
You want to know some stuff. Find out some stuff, secrets or anything like that. So it's good to talk. So we talked about. You want to go ahead, honey? That excessive baggage.
Before I get to the baggage, I'm going back because if we didn't have a way, and I just want to say one thing more about foreplay. It doesn't stop. If you've just got married, I understand your happiness about one another and exploring each other's body, but foreplay, we tend to go from talking all day, and when I get into a movie and sitting by one another, talking and watching a movie, and then talking when we go to bed. It's a whole lot involved with it.
Yes.
But let me get back to the excessive baggage, the things that we bring into matrimony and being married. Now, some people have been married before. Some people have to get over the fact that it didn't work for them the first time.
Right.
And I was married for 4 years before I met Octavia. And when things went sour, I said in my mind, I wasn't going to, no, I'm not, no. This is not for me. I'm not doing this again. And everything that it entailed. And then when I met her, when I saw her in church, we were friends. We were just friends. And what happened with that was we just coexisted for a good while,
right?
Until I heard from God, and I decided he pushed me into the plunge, and he said, "That's your wife," and we've been married ever since.
Yes.
But the things that I had brought into this relationship from that one was stuff that I had to learn how to get rid of, and it wasn't easy because the hurt and the pain from the things that happened before was stuff that I had taken 4 years to get used to. And it took a little while to get, untrained and unused to those things. And if it wasn't her helping me and wanting to have a better relationship between us, it would never have happened.
Right.
Never.
Now, me personally, I wasn't married before, but I did have baggage that I did bring into the marriage. I had childhood baggage. I had growing up baggage. I had personal baggage. I had internal baggage. I had things that I was dealing with mentally, emotionally, and different things. Those type of baggages that that I brought in. That I brought into the marriage that definitely, begin to affect our relationship. Yes. I had different values about family. I grew up in a single parent home, so my value of of parental guidance and parental growth, growing children,
Even
maturing
authority,
children, authority. Yes, that was good too. Even authority and just different things, decision makings, how to raise children, even how to be a wife, because I come from, a family of very strong women, and different things like that. And when I mean strong, I'm not talking about controlling and, and Amazonic. I'm not talking about that, but strong women that I grew up literally watch persevering through adversity. So when I talk about strength, I'm talking about that type of strength, persevering through adversity, overcoming so many different adverse situations and things that they would have gone through and different things, and especially with my mother. And so I seen the strength in that. And so from that, it made me strong. And as I said, not controlling or anything Amazonic or anything like that, but it just made me a strong woman, so much strong to where, now I have a spouse, I have someone else, in my life now till, it was like almost learning how to submit now. Because I watched my mother do it all, say it all, handle it all, and just be all. So it was a matter for me, submission. Then when it comes to the children, I had values on how to raise the children. Because as I said, I came from a single parent home. My husband comes from a 2-parent home. So he had 2 parents in the house. He had a kind of a balance in the house. When it came to different things like that, I kind of didn't have that. So my rearing, it was kind of tough in the beginning because, I had problems with him raising the children. I had problems with him saying something to our children. It was just so much. So I brought baggage. I had childhood baggage and, different things that I thought about myself, things that I went through personally and secretly and quietly that I had to quietly and secretly go through by myself, and get through by myself and grow through and mature through by myself that, a lot of people don't know, so he didn't come to find out until we got married. And then some things that personally happened to me and different things like that, I was able to share with him. Able to really share with him and give him an understanding of why I was the way that I am. And it just attacked, our relationship, attacked our relationship a lot. So, so that baggage,
and I had to help her with that. And she had to help me with mine. And it wasn't easy. If we didn't have God, number one.
Right.
That's number one. If we weren't spiritual people, we probably wouldn't have been together.
Right.
Because we didn't have we wouldn't have had the faith enough to, with loving one another, know that we were going to get past this area. We were going to get past that area. We were going to grow in this area. Our faith helped us tremendously in growing to where we are now. And if somebody's looking on and saying, "Where are you now?" We are married 25 years, but it doesn't stop. Because if you go to sleep one night and get up in the morning, you're going to think about something that happened 15, 20 years ago to you before you got married. You always have to remember that you're not living there no more. So it's better to, always have each other on everything that you have gone through, knowing that you're going to get through whatever comes your way next.
Yeah, and I want to bring up some. Now we're moving on to our next topic. Something you said about friendship. One of the other topics was too, is friendship more important than the marital relationship itself? And I talked about it with our girls, and I think the guys was on. They came on the second half too.
So, yeah.
I think so, and we all agree. Yes, friendship in marriage is so important.
Yes.
What we've learned with each other through trial and error, through many mistakes, revealed, unrevealed between him and I, ourselves, things we talked about, things we've discussed openly and disclosed to each other and stuff like that. we found out the test of our friendship.
Yes.
You know, we really did. And, you know, friendship is just so important. And one of the things that we came to find out is, you know, it's the friend that's there. It's not the husband.
Yes.
He's my husband. You know, but at the end of the day, it's the friend that's there. Because when you have friends, you know, you never want to hurt your friend. No. You know, like you got friends now before you got married and, you know, and everything. You're like, that's my friend. I'm ride or die with my friend. And if you go down, I'm going down with you. If you fight, I fight. Or if you find that you hurt your friend, you're calling to apologize. You know, you're doing so many things just to, you know, mend that friendship because you never really want to hurt our friends. So I think the majority of what kept us survivors, not I don't want to use that word survivor, endurers,
yes,
you know, in our relationship. So you're gonna hear me say relationship a lot rather than marriage, because it's the relationship that has to be built. It's not marriage.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get confused and we get mixed up. We trying to build a marriage, you know, and we forget to build a relationship, you know, and building a marriage, you know, that can become mechanical. You know, that's a mechanical thing. The relationship is what we need to be working on building. The people, you know, we interact with each other, the man and the woman, you know, and so when we continue building on the marriage, you know, we're trying to build a husband and a wife instead of the man and the woman, because that's them the two people that have to have the relationship, the man and the woman. And so we found out through the years, in 25 years, you know, what has kept us enduring in our relationship is just simply our friendship.
Yes.
He's my friend, you know, and I am his friend, and I see him as my friend, and he sees me as his friend. So friendship is so important.
It's very important.
Friendship, you know, will make you communicate with each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know, friendship is just a whole thing that goes along with friendship. Friendship would even affect your love even more. You have a greater love for each other. If you see each other as friends, you are husband and wife. But if you see each other as friends, that's my friend.
Yes.
And I love my friend to death.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love him.
Yes.
I love her.
Yes.
So we said that, yes, friendship is more important than marital relationship.
And let me tell you something. One thing about being married, and you have a relationship that your wife and your husband or vice versa is your friend. Let me tell you something. The tough times when y'all come to disagreements, and when you have the right to disagree about some things, and then it gets tough, and you angry with one another. And the Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. I know everything, and I know all of that. But if you have the person that you're married to, and they're your friend, there's no way you're gonna be mad long. You're gonna say, wait a minute. I really need to say something to you because I'm not feeling the way I should be.
Right. That's a question.
That's from my friend in Jersey, Tyrone. Bless you, man of God. Do you think a marriage can be fully fulfilling without an acknowledgement of God? Let me say this. Let me say yes and no. First, let me answer the yes part. The yes part is it's a very unique man and woman individual that's going to have a marriage be fulfilling outside of God. Yes. You hear people that have been married 25, 50 years. Don't even know who God is.
Yes.
Okay? But we don't know the ins and outs of what they had to go through over the 15, 25 to 50 years. It might have been hard. It may have been some things that they had through their marriage that they worked their way through. Yes. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I am telling you the acknowledgement of God that we have caused our marriage to flourish. And when I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly. I would not have wanted to do it without God, because that He leads us, He guides us, and for that reason alone, I know without God, it would have been tougher for us to make 25 years. I'm not saying we wouldn't have, But I'm telling you, it might have been a time where there may have been a separation or two. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking to you that's looking and sending questions, good question, my brother. It is something that I would not have wanted to do without God.
Yes. And God is the creator. As a believer, I'm talking from a believer standpoint. We believe God is the creator of this covenant union of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And as my husband just said, it's possible, but I can promise you along down the line, it's not doable.
Yes.
It's possible. It possibly can work. Is a yes and a no. Mm-hmm. So it's not an answer that can be totally said yes.
Yes.
It is not an answer that can totally be said no.
No.
It's a yes and a no, because he is the creator of this covenant union called marriage.
Exactly.
And so in order for you to understand and be fulfilled in this union, this covenant union called marriage, would you not need the creator of it?
Yes.
Would you not need to read his handbook about it? Mm-hmm. Would you not need to know how to have a relationship and how to stay connected in this covenant union? Mm-hmm. So we said, yes, it can be, but after a while, you will see that it's not doable.
That's right.
You need God. You need the acknowledgement of the true and living God, because he is the creator. It is what he created, it is what he designed. You don't take a designer's work, original work, authentic work, and take it for yourself and try to patent your name on it, and use it and do it any kind of way you want.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That's like you being the creator of something, and somebody trying to steal your idea and putting their name on it. How would you feel?
I will say this, and
how would you feel?
And I mean this wholeheartedly. Just look at it like this: a 25-year marriage and a 30-year marriage before we move on without God. All right, let's look at it like this. Marriage was ordained by who?
Mm-hmm. God. Oh, God. Yes.
And because it was God that ordained it, like I said, you'd have to be two special people that are not spiritual people to be together that long.
Right.
And if you happen to be out there and you are together that long, guess why you have been together that long? Because God allowed it through everything that you went through. I think that's
not because of no wisdom of your own. Now we have an innate intelligence that we can make the sound decisions and stuff like that. But marriage, you need God. It's not of wisdom of our own that you can simply just create and bond this relationship together without God. So we'll say the answer is yes, it can be done, but the total fulfillment of it, no. You do need to acknowledge God. Okay? And so we're going to move on to another topic that we discussed.
Let's talk about submission.
Okay, let's talk about it.
It's always a big thing. And when you talk about submission, it's always a big thing with couples inside of God and outside of it. Because on the outside, looking in, there are people like, I'm not submitting to nobody. I'm the man, and she ain't gonna do this. The 80s woman. He not gonna, and so on and so forth. The back and forth of superiority. But when we talked about submission, we talked about husbands and wives, and our examples that we took from it. We were talking about the bed. We were talking about the practices that we have with one another when it comes to suggestions and situations that come up between man and woman that have to be handled together. Who has the last word?
Oh, yes.
Or who is really going to pay this bill or do that bill? It's a wide array of things. But when you have, we come to find out when we have a situation, and we've had a bunch of them in 25 years, We don't have this one deals with this one and that one deals with that one. We kind of deal with it as we go. And whoever God is really moving on to like get the situation handled, that's how it's handled.
That's right.
Just today, without going too far into some, we had to make a decision on some stuff. And the ball was in my court, but I found out that my wife was dribbling it a little bit better than I was. And she gave me some sound, some really sound instruction. And listen, I didn't really in the beginning want to hear it. I was like, okay, all right, okay. And this is real. This is really real because a lot of people won't say that. Men are one way. Mm-hmm. And when we have something that we have to take care of, it's something we got to do. It's in our mind, and we're not going to break rank over how we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But the man that is willing to listen to his wife and hear sound judgment and sound explanation to what's going on, and you can hear that it may work better like that, as a good man, as a man that's going to not have the problems that normal men have because they think they have to dominate and take over everything.
Yes. And even when we talked about submission, we talked about, when you hear the word submission, some people hear it in the negative undertone.
Yes.
As my husband said, our level of submission is the Bible talks about husband and wife submit to each other. Yes, a wife submit, but it also talks to husband to be submissive as also too. And so our level of submission is a mutual respect.
Yes.
For each other. That's our level of submission. He doesn't walk on me and I don't walk on him. Certainly, we are two strong people. Now, that's one thing we are two
very strong
people.
Mind and wills.
Mind, everything, wills. We are two strong people. And at times, we can be very opinionated. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, out of the wazoo. But we do understand, and we can say things to each other,
yes.
But at the end of the day, our level of submission is a mutual respect.
Yes.
I understand who he is. I recognize who he is. But the respect between the both of us also, too, is that he understands who I am.
Yes.
And he recognizes who I am.
Yes.
I'm not here for him to step on me, to run over me, to tell me what to do, to control me,
right.
To none of those things, to rob me, to rape me, to sex me when he feels like it. Let's just talk real. To do what he wants to do to me. I'm not there for that. Mm-hmm. I'm not, and neither is he. He's not there for all of those things that I just said. I said either. Exactly. If I say no, if we both say no to each other, this is our level of submission. We can respect that.
Yes.
I can respect him saying no. He can respect me saying no. He can respect me saying wait. I can respect him saying wait. It's vice versa with us. So our level of submission is to both each other.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't lay down on the ground and let him walk on me.
No.
He don't lay down on the ground and let me walk on him. No, we walk together.
Yes.
We stand side by side together. We come on here. We launch out together.
Yes.
It's not no such thing. You first and I'm behind. You superior and I inferior. No, that's not our relationship.
No. And the quicker couples get to know this. Man and woman, they will be better off.
Yes.
See, here's something that I always thought about, and I talked about it. We talk about it sometimes in ministry.
Right.
I'm not jealous of my wife.
Yes, say that.
I don't believe she's jealous of me.
No.
If she got it, she's got it. Mm-hmm. If I got it, I got it.
That's right.
The thing about jealousy is it will cause a man and a woman to think that they can't tell each other everything.
Right.
Then the friendship goes out the window.
Yes.
Gone out the window.
Yes.
Secrets start being kept by one another.
Yes.
And then the man start to think the things that she was saying as a woman, I can't tell her everything. No, she can't know this. I ain't gonna be no punk. And not only not gonna be no punk, I ain't gonna let her have this on me because it may make me look weak, and then she not gonna think I'm strong.
Right.
I came to find out in 25 years of marriage, when I was my weakest, my wife made me strong.
Right.
When I was at my end emotionally, where I didn't know where I was going, my wife kind of brought the tissue and helped me get through it. Stroked my ego. I'm telling you, whispered something in my ear, and I was made whole.
Yes.
But because I trusted that she wasn't going to use the situation. And I hope you're really hearing me at another time to come back and say, I remember when you was so on and so forth. That, that's a killer of relationship.
Yes, it is.
That's poison.
Yes.
And with poison, you're not going to grow. And this is all of this that we're talking about is good for growth, especially if you can get to this place. I don't even know who we're talking to right now that may be going through some of this stuff, but I tell you this. Trust is the biggest thing in marriage.
Yes.
Love, of course, but trust.
Yes, it is.
You have to be able to trust your partner. If you don't trust your partner, you're fighting an uphill battle with money. That's the big one, right?
The big one is money.
God.
Oh my God, money.
God. Money.
Big one was money.
Here goes the other. Here goes the other
yes.
one for the people in the 21st century. Cell phones.
Yes.
My wife picked my phone up. Don't know my code, so to speak, and I'll tell her the code. And she'll go in it. I have nothing to hide. Now, when I pick her phone up, it might not be the same thing.
Watch out. Watch out.
I can't even use. Last night we had some people to the house. She was upstairs. I picked her phone up. I know she heard it ringing, but she didn't come running down the stairs saying, "No, don't answer my phone." There is a mutual respected man and woman should have.
Yes.
That passes everything. When it comes to idiosyncrasies,
yes.
No, the other stuff, your private stuff in your room, women, certain things, women. Yeah, you of course, but I'm talking about stuff that will cause you to leave or divorce.
That's right.
Or step out on your helpmate. This is the stuff we talk. This is the real stuff about being submitted to one another in every way. And when we get that part, if you can get that part right, you'll be good.
Yes, you can. And as I said, with our level of submission, it's a mutual respect. So when you think about the word submission, don't think about it so negatively. Because it's not negative.
It's not.
It's just how you guys relate to each other, knowing who each other is to one another, knowing who each other are to one another. Yeah. That is so important, and so that will help you to be able to submit. Not only is he Kevin, my husband, but also too he is also to a man of God. So I also have to look at it I have to respect him as the man of God also too. So it's a lot that goes on when we talk about a level of submission, so just think about that. So for us, everybody's submission level to each other as husband and wife or friendship. We talked about friendship is different.
It is.
You may be around us and say, oh my God, do they submit to each other? Wait a minute. You may see something totally different.
That's right.
But our level of submission, it works for us.
It does. It really does.
It works. It works for us. It's not submission. It's not asking every 5 minutes, can I go here? Can I do this? Can I, that's not submission. No, that's control. That sound like that's some type of insecurities, going on that your spouse have to know now I'm not saying, now understand what I'm saying. because you do want to stay in contact with your spouse,
Yes.
throughout the day, different things,
Yes.
but every move and can I do this? Can I do that?
Yes.
But if that's your level of submission in your relationship, we're not here to judge that.
No.
But that's not ours. I know how to drive. I have keys to my own car. I know how to get to the mall. I don't need him.
Some people would think you don't know
how to drive.
That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke.
Wait a minute, Pastor Lucas, you drive?
I see her. She was on here. I seen her watching.
I hope she
Yes,
see this.
I do drive, so I do know how to get in my car, and I do know how to drive myself if need be. You know what I'm saying? We have to be careful that we don't allow this word submission to handicap us.
Yes, no.
Because some people are just simply handicapped.
Just handicapped.
You're just handicapped. You can't do.
They're afraid. They're afraid of it.
Oh, that's a good one. Or you afraid to do. I'm not afraid to do. I'm not handicapped. The word submission does not handicap me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, but our level of submission, it works for us.
It works for us.
Another topic that we talked for anybody that's just coming on, we're just reviewing because me and my husband, we're doing it together today. You're used to seeing me with my girls
face to face.
So we're doing it face to face together. So what we're doing is just really recapping me and him being able to talk together. You're seeing it from a female perspective, a woman's perspective, as well as a male perspective over the different topics that we talked about over the weeks.
And a husband's perspective.
And a husband and a wife's perspective. So that's what we're doing. We're reviewing. Yeah. So you may have heard some of the things that we're talking about. One of the things we also talked about is how to know when you need marital counsel. Honey, how do you know when you need marital counsel?
All right, can we go there?
Yes, go there,
we'll go there
please.
for a minute. I did not know that we were going to go to a marriage counselor. Mm-hmm. We had been about almost 20 years in.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, you could get separated in your own home.
Yes, you can.
What are you talking about, Apostle Kevin, or Kevin, to anybody that wants to know? She could be watching television in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. I could be watching television downstairs in what I call the family room. Right. I know somebody laughing at me now. It's the basement. Yeah, in the family room. Uh-huh. And you'll just call one another. What you doing? Mm-hmm. I'm watching the game. Oh, what you doing? I'm watching something on television. Mm-hmm. All right, when you coming up to bed, I'll be up in a little bit. I'm talking about people that have been married a while.
Yes.
You can lose one another.
Yes, you can.
In your own home.
Yes, you can.
Now, when I say lose one another, notice she called me, and I called her. Now, we hadn't lost one another. We knew we were somewhere in the house in our favorite spots.
Yes.
But then but when it was time to come together and I went to bed, we talked and we went to sleep.
Yes.
Sometimes this is practice for some husbands and wives.
Yes, it is.
And you have to watch that.
Yes, it is.
Why I'm saying you have to watch that? Because that can become the place where you will just know that that's the only thing that you want to do.
The only thing that
and
you
that can
want to
come
do.
Against your marriage.
Yes, it can.
You will be trying to go and find a lawyer and write up papers. There are times for me when I'll say, okay, let me just, and mind you, we people of God. Mm-hmm. And I said, let me go see if she want to watch a movie. Mm-hmm. Just sit with her for a minute. Mm-hmm. And she'll, tease me. Oh, you really coming up here? You really want? You don't want. I said, let's find a movie. Let's watch something together. Mm-hmm. Now she won't come. No, she won't come downstairs because she's just not coming downstairs. But see, this is what I'm talking to you about is a submission. Hey, listen, one of you, somebody's looking at us right now. Somebody, husband or wife, somebody, one of you have to take an initiative on some things if you know things are not the way that you want it to be.
Yes, definitely.
And when you take the initiative to do it, now it's going to hurt you because you haven't really done it before.
Right.
Anybody that's watching and know we're reviewing and we went over these topics before, we're going over them with a little bit of a fine-tooth comb so we can put it back out there because somebody that didn't watch the show can have these questions and they say, wow, I must have missed this part. But no, that is something that's very important. So you finding out the place that you need to be, with your helpmate.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you could start a chain of events that you can't come back from.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And, knowing you have to pay attention to the signs. We're talking about how do you know when you need a marital counselor. That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And you have to pay attention to those signs. When you find that, or that mediator, somebody that can mediate between you two. And as we said, we did counseling before years ago. We did it. We didn't know what to expect going into it. Yeah. We didn't know the outcome of it. And when we did the counseling, it's not so much that something was so tragic and we was at a divorce moment. No, it wasn't that. It was just something that we just felt, okay, we need this. Yeah. It wasn't we didn't use the D word, the divorce word, but we knew that we needed this. We knew that we need this mediator, you know. And of course we had profound people around us very profound, from spiritual people or friends. We had all types of people that was around us that was very well capable and able to counsel and be that mediator that that we needed. But it was something that we were looking for. Not that they couldn't do it. We know that they could have, but someone fresh, someone that didn't know anything. Someone we could just go in with a blank state, and sit down and just talk. And so we did the counseling for a good while, for almost a year, almost a half a year or so. We did it. It was good. And it and for us it was excellent. Yes, it was. It was great. Really, and we had I can't say it because nobody knew we was going to do the counseling. No. That was something we privately spoke about together, and nobody knew we was doing it. Yeah. But it was something that really blessed us. Yeah. We were able to hear each other. We were able to listen to each other. Yeah. We were able to talk and just express. We had moments where we broke down. We had moments when we argued. We had moments where we, just all types of emotions and different things was coming up. Yes. So how we knew we needed counseling was when we knew we needed that person to really just be there, so we can just talk. Mm-hmm. That's when we knew. That's when we knew that we needed. And we had a good counselor. We had a good one. Wow. And he didn't take. I don't know if you ever heard this expression. Mm-hmm. He didn't take no tea for the fever. No, he did not. It was no over talking. It was no loud talking. It was no nothing. He didn't take nothing. It was no blame. Yeah. It was no shame. Yeah. If you were talking, it was you. Yeah, it was you. It wasn't nothing. He just didn't allow it. So he allowed each of us, he allowed me and my husband to be ourselves and to say what we needed to say. Yeah. And after we said what we needed to say, he got down to the nitty gritty, the who, what, where, whys, and how. That's right. And breaking that down, that's where oh my God, it gets crazy at breaking down the who, what, where. Anyway, we knew when we needed counseling, when we just couldn't be agreeable with each other. Kids getting ready to leave the house, and we knew a lot of things was happening around that time. It was crazy. It was a lot going on at that time. We got homework to go home and do. It wasn't just in the office. No, it was outside the office, homework and everything. Outside the office, we had excursions we had to go. Oh man, it was really good. Yes. We went in one way and came out another way. Yes, we did. And we were nervous and apprehensive in the beginning, but once we got in there, wow, it opened up who we were when we first got married. Oh yes, it did. Yeah, it took us back. He took us all the way back. Yeah. He took us all the way back even before we got married. That's right, to the dating. So the dating, all that stuff. So that was one of the topics that we talked about. How do you know you need counseling when it's no longer being agreeable? You need somebody to step in to help mediate and just help. And don't be afraid to seek counseling. Some people will think counseling as a taboo, but it's not. Don't be afraid. No. Okay. Another one of our topics was, are you really ready to be a husband and wife? How do I know when I'm ready to be a husband or a wife? To be honest with you, you really don't know.
No.
Until you come to know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understood what I said.
That was good. I understood it.
How do I know when I'm really ready to be a husband or wife?
Mm-hmm.
You really don't know until you come to know.
Yeah.
And that's when you know. That's when you will know, was you ready to be a husband or a wife? It's not.
How did you know?
How did I know? A lot of things played a part in me knowing if I was ready. But to be on a serious, real, I never knew if I really was ready. Because I really battled within my mind and battled within myself, conflict in myself. I went through a lot of things. Would I be a good wife?
Okay.
Would I be a good companion?
That's good. That's good.
You know, I was already a mother. You know, I had a child already. You know, was I ready to be in a family?
Yes.
Could I handle a family? You know, and then, you know, I had a lot going on at that time.
Things, yeah.
And, you know, we talked about the Essex baggage. You know, was I material? Was I wife? I knew I was wife material, but because of the things that I was conflicted with and different things that I was going through in my mind,
yes.
I didn't know if I would, you know, sometimes you go, would I make the grade?
Yeah.
You know, would I be divorced? You know, you go through so many things. So for me, it was a lot of things, of variables that played. And I have to say, to answer the question, I think I answered in the beginning, I really did not know, you know, but as time went on, you know, I knew I loved you.
Okay.
I knew you was my friend. I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. I knew that feeling. You know, they say a woman has that intuition,
yes.
but I knew that you were for me. I knew that you would bring happiness and joy. You was already bringing happiness and joy to my life, and it was something that I wanted. And it was something that you know, not so much I needed, but something that I wanted. I didn't want to end. That's what I'm saying.
Good.
I didn't want it to end. You know, so me knowing whether or not I would be a wife, you know, was I ready to be a wife? I don't know. All I knew is I had feelings. I had prayer. You know, and of course we went through much confirmations, you know, praying, because we were believers also too. We cannot take that off the table. We sought God. I sought God. You sought God. We had many confirmations about it. We talked about it. So, I mean, and just because you have confirmations don't necessarily mean that you're ready. It just can be God just putting his seal of approval on it. That doesn't mean that you're ready. It's just him putting his seal of approval. Yes. So I'll just say I had seals of approval.
Oh, okay.
But I still battle with him. But I knew that I love you, and I just felt this was I just felt that you were the right person for me, and the man that God had given me. So like I said, to answer that question, I didn't really know if I was ready to be a wife until I got into it, and I found out. And as time went on, yes, I found out I was ready to be a wife.
Okay.
I was wife material, and I loved you.
Now I'm waiting for you to ask me.
Okay. How did you know, babe?
You know
that
what?
She was ready.
Here's the simple fact. I don't know if most guys will feel the same way. Because I had already had my own place, car, everything.
Yes, you did.
Condo, everything. It wasn't the day after the dates. I had to take you home.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, hey, you know, I'm all alone here. I felt like, wow, you know, man, I really want her to be with me here all the time. And it started to really click into my spirit. Wow. Then I got to go. I would be so ready to go and see her, but I had to go cross town to see her. And then when I get there, then I had to go back home.
Yep.
To be back home. And it was, then I finally really realized that I wanted you to be with me and be my wife when it wasn't just enough to come and see you.
Wow.
and to spend time with you.
Wow.
And go out like we used to. We did a whole lot of things.
Yes, we did.
But the worst part for me was taking you home.
Wow.
You know, kiss goodnight, then I'm gone. And I'm home thinking about what we had and how much fun we had to, to go home by myself.
Yes.
That was the part. Mm-hmm. That's when I knew. I said, yep, she got to be my wife.
I had to be your wife?
Yep.
I had to.
You had to.
It could have been nobody else.
Nobody else.
I had to.
I had to.
Okay.
No matter how many times you asked that question, I had to. You had to.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, that's so endearing. I love my husband, y'all. So that was one of the things that we, are you really ready to be a wife? So I think we can both answer that safely.
Yes.
And safely say, you really don't know whether you're ready or not until you come to know.
Yes.
Whether or not you're ready to be a wife or a husband, then you will know. Okay. What's some other topics, babe, that you saw? Let me see. I think we hit on getting through the tough times. I think we did that.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about that tonight.
Getting through the tough times.
Give me another one. Let's get another one. That one was a good one.
Let's get another one. Let's close with this one.
Okay.
Can you fall out of love? Do you believe that, babe?
Wow.
Can you fall out of love?
Wow. We were
certainly there are moments that can make you feel like
there are moments.
There are moments that can make you feel like
I believe if we hadn't gone through our counseling when the kids were getting ready to go and we were sort of working and doing, I'm working and you doing what I believe we could have fallen out of love.
Okay.
Because we were like ships that come not passing the night that docked for a couple of hours.
Right.
And then in the morning we had to ship off to do what we had to do.
Right.
And we really could have.
Yeah,
I really thought about that.
Right.
We really could have.
We could have.
But God was good to us in all the things that we had gone through. And you saw the need and you brought it to me. And me not thinking about it because I was just in my work mode, I almost didn't, submit to it. But then I said, wait a minute. If she want to do it, I got to do it.
Right.
And then I said, all right, let's do it. And we did it, and we were better for it.
But certainly you can feel, just because we get ready to culminate, but just to answer the question, can you fall out of love? It's a yes and no. I believe you can. I believe there is a growing. That's why you have to work on a relationship and not the marriage, because there is, if you're not careful, there you can grow apart from each other.
Yes.
And your love can be given, and as you grow apart from each other, your love can be given, your love can catch another attention. Not so much a person, but your love can be caught by another attention. So you can fall out of love.
You can.
Or if you don't fall out of love, you sure can be in your marriage and feel, I'm sure we've had those moments where we just didn't even know.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you certainly can have those moments, not necessarily out of love, but definitely having those moments of numbness.
Yes.
Of not knowing.
Yeah,
so,
good word, numbness. Yes.
A good answer is for that. You can, if you don't work on the relationship.
That's right.
Marriage is work.
It is.
At the end of the day. But if you don't work on the relationship, you can grow apart. And from growing apart, going in your own separate directions, you can fall out of love. Now, because you have a relationship, you can still love each other.
Yeah.
There's a love for each other.
Yes.
And then there's a in love with each other.
That's beautiful. Great.
So you can love, but then there's a in love, with each other. So, but you can fall out of in love.
But
with
I thank God that we're still in love with each other. We just celebrated 25 years of marriage.
Yes, we did.
Second anniversary. Went to Mexico for 2 weeks and had a beautiful time.
Yes.
And we thank God for it.
Yes, we do. And so we are thankful that you guys were able to. I was just happy to do this with my husband, on this evening. And so this is the Marital Toolbox. This comes on We live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. You're welcome to call in 216-298-1554.
Good questions.
You're welcome to text your questions. You can go on our page, my page, any of my girls' page, my lady friends page, and you can post questions, ask questions. We are more than welcome to do that. So we just thank you for joining us in the marital toolbox. Until next Tuesday.
God bless you.
God bless you, and we'll see you then.